Festival 2021 Q&As. My name is Dania Wright. Thank you for joining us. This year, our full program will be screened online from September 22nd to the 28th. Today is our last day for the new media exhibition to be shown at Granderson Lab, but we continue to show new media exhibitions online until the 28th. So get down there today from 6 to 8 p.m. if you want to see some amazing new media exhibitions. Also, feel free to comment and ask any questions you have for the filmmakers, and we will try to answer them during the session. Of course, don't forget you can check out the films at ttfilmfestival.com. We would also like to thank our TTFF 21 sponsors and partners. NGC is our signature sponsor this year. And we have leading sponsorship from Shell Trinidad and Tobago and Republic Bank, as well as contributing and supporting sponsorship from NLCB and Sports and Culture Fund, respectively. All right, so today I'm joined by two amazing filmmakers from Puerto Rico. We have Lorraine Molina with Alma, and we have Macha Colón with Perfume de Gardenias. So we have two films that deal with women and death in very different ways. um, Lorraine, let's start with you. Let's talk. You have a heavy film. Why choose this topic? Why was it important for you?
So this film is based on a true story about my two cousins who went out for a run and then they never returned, and they were murdered, and to this day the case is unsolved. Although we do have a very strong idea of who did it because she was in a very abusive relationship. And so, yeah, I think that I just decided that I needed to talk about it and I need to do something with it. So I made this film.
Okay. The style is very unique. Let's firstly talk about why black and white.
Yes. So black and white is because that, first of all, it was like the way that I could work with this topic because it was very close to me what happened and very difficult to do anything about it. Like when in doing it black and white, I was able to have like a bit of, I felt in my mind that I was able to have a bit of a distance. It's all based on these images that were repeating in my mind over and over like a dream. So
I could tell that, but it seemed very dreamlike, especially coming towards the end, where there's a lot of dancing. There's a lot of shots of the beach and poetry to herself. The character who's praying, would you compare that to say you in real life?
yeah, it is me in the movie, and it is in many ways me praying for them, remembering them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel myself very connected to that character, and it's also, but I'm also, because I'm a very spiritual person, and this, like, I'm a spiritist and a medium, and it's very important to me to remember those who have passed away and to sort of to see them as still going on, even though they're not physically here.
Yeah. I'm sorry for your loss, by the way.
Yeah.
Moving on a little bit to Macha. Macha, you deal with death in a completely different way, where Isabel has sort of given her life to her marriage and family, and in death, she sort of finds this completely new life. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
I think death is something that has fascinated me for a long, long time from a very personal point of view because I realized growing up that I was afraid of death, and I then started questioning, how many things would that attitude influence me in a maybe negative way, like why do I fear death? And it's something that I would talk to other people about, and I would ask other people, like in my artistic work. I even did like a sort of like a video performance once, and I went around the street and asked people what do they think about death. And it was interesting to me to find people that were so cool with it and relax, and I just really want to get to that place. I want to feel that way. I don't want to live my life afraid of it, because we don't know what it is, basically. And I started to analyze how other cultures dealt with it. And um and i and i realized that I think it had to do also with my Catholic upbringing. So I started to think a lot about all those things that we just learn, and we're not really conscious of it, and how much of a taboo that theme is in our culture. And I felt it was important to talk about it and to bring it forward, and because I think it's something that once you start to talk about it, I think will help us make better choices in life. And I mean, it had to do also with the fact that I mean, the film itself, the story is very specifically to do with my mom, and how I saw my mom like a very, very Catholic person all her life, that she was very active in church and in many things in her life. And, when my dad fell ill and was bedridden for the last 2 years of his life, she had to take care of him in a way that she even stopped doing church activities. She just would go to, Sunday mass, and that was it. And I never thought that that would happen. I never thought I would see her making that choice. And it made me feel that I always thought that once she didn't have those responsibilities of taking care of us as, her children, she would be retired. Somehow it would be a time that she would be doing things for herself. And then she was like taking care of my dad constantly, like it was like taking care of him all the time. And I just felt it would be wonderful to think of her in a way that she could have a space of becoming all the things that maybe she couldn't become, or she could have done before, at this time closer to death. Like it just felt, it was like, why not? Why do we feel like we have a specific age where we have to become fully who we are? I'm transforming all the time. I'm still becoming who I want to be all the time. I'm questioning that all the time. And actually, I think acknowledging death as part of what life is helps me also to think about that and to question myself, where I'm at. Am I happy? I mean, if I die tomorrow, would I be happy with what I've done today, with what I did last week, with who I am? So in that sense, I felt like it was important to bring death as an important question to into our lives, and just not see it as the end of life, which is one of the issues that I had with it. It was like, I love my life. I love life so much that I just don't want it to end. But,
Let's talk about how you got the idea for the types of funerals that she would put on, because I thought that was interesting as well.
so when I was, talking about death, I started to think about what things are dying in our society, which, represent sort of change in our society. And I thought of what roles are dying, what type of works are dying. So I thought of like the TV repair person, the the seamstress, the where things have been substituted by maybe more an industrialized type of work, right? I mean, those things are sort of coming back because of all the situations that we encounter now. Funny enough, because of the economic crisis, now people are going back to learning how to sew, learning how to fix things. But for a while there, um, in Puerto Rico, everything, you just it gets broken, you just throw it out and just go buy another. something else to substitute it, even if it was cheaply done, that it would last less. uh, but we have sort of become to be a society that thinks that because it's something it's new, it's better, but that's not necessarily true. So I wanted to explore like what positions in our society we are letting die. The carpenter, the I mean, not all of them are specifically that. The fishermen. I mean, Puerto Rico is an island where fishing has died in the last decade, because there's no fish. I mean, it has to do with global warming, it has to do with all these different things, right? But it's like, so I just wanted to sort of bring all those sort of um, positions of people who I think are important in our society, but we sort of have let die.
So another question I have, and I think this question is for both ladies. I mean, it seems as if both your films are part of sort of the healing process for you. Um, Talk about that process of writing and of actually making the film, and what that feeling of catharsis was for both of you.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
So your films are both labors of love,
Yeah.
and part of a healing process for you for loss in your lives. So I want you to talk about the writing process of the film and the actual making of the film, and how that was for you.
Hmm. You, Lorraine.
Um, okay. So the writing of it was, I was thinking about doing something about this topic for a while, but I just didn't really think of how. And then the image just popped into my head one day, and then I just was able to write it rather quickly after that. Um, and then I think the writing process was, very healing on its own, but definitely making the film was just like like a very big confrontation in a very real way. Like you're seeing things that actually happened, and I think it is very healing to be able to do this. Any kind of work that has to do with something that usually gets buried, and you have to like close the door and hide it away because these things are not talked about. So when you open the door and say, no, you know what, instead I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to deal with this and confront it, then just that alone helps you heal. And so that was, although difficult, very healing. And another thing that happened is that, the issue with gender violence and all the violence that goes on and all the murders that continue to happen, like even while we were making the film, and even now, like it just continues to be in your face. So it is really important to confront it, and hopefully by doing that and continuing to speak about it, it can help us all heal.
I,
That was my process.
I'm sorry.
No, go
I
ahead.
I think that, to me, I mean, making a feature film, it's a long process. Uh, right? In my case, it was pretty long, because I think the first idea came about in like 2008, and my first like 40 pages were in 2009. So it's been a long process. What helped me, and that in itself, um, doing the research during that time and rewriting, it becomes almost like also like a chant, where you're just going through things over and over. And I think that in itself allows you to sort of process that and analyze it. And so that alone, it's something that I think it helps you heal. But I mean, to me, at least with the subject of death, it's still hard, because everything around me, um follows a different kind of thinking about it. So I would think that that I have been sort of learning stuff and changing about it, and I would still find situations in which I had to confront something that I realized that it wasn't that easy anyway. Like I had my mom passed away like 2 years ago, it's gonna be 3 years now in January, and even though I was ready for that because I started writing the script before that. She died, yeah, in 2018. So even though I was ready in many ways, it helped me to deal with her death because I was able to apply all the knowledge that I have learned in my saying goodbye and in my time with her and in her last, a couple months and all that stuff. But still, there were parts of that process that I have not really been through that specifically with her. So there are always going to be new things that surprise you about it, and then you realize, oh no, no, nothing prepared me for that, and this is a new part of my no of my experience. Um, and in more casual situation, I had this a good friend of my mom's, one of her best friends, it was a neighbor. Um, After my mom died, we would still talk all the time, and one day I went to say hello to her, and she was like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna die soon." And it shocked me, even though I was a person talking and thinking about death all the time, and trying to get people working on a piece that I wanted to for people to talk about death this openly. It shocked me, and I was so shocked that I didn't know what to say, and I was just like, oh, well, oh, don't say that. Oh, why you say that? Don't worry. I'm gonna come and pick you up next week, and we'll go shopping. Thinking like, oh my gosh, she's depressed, she's sad, she's alone. I'm not respecting and responding to the clarity that she had about where she was at, mind, body, and spirit. Like, and she was, at peace with that. She was just really just letting me know, you know, listen, I think I'm gonna die soon. And in fact, she died like 2 months later, and she was, I didn't know she had like a health situation where they wanted to do some medical intervention, and she didn't want it, and there was other things why she knew that, but I always was like, wow, my God, that was a moment I wish I could have used all that I know to say, okay, how can I help you? How can I be part then of this process of you then getting ready for this, which is what I would like to get to.
So we're almost out of time. So really quickly before we go, I just in 10 seconds or less, what do you hope that your viewers come away with after they've seen your film?
I could say that I would like people to, first of all, think about the problems that are going on with gender-based violence, and to have conversations about what we can do and what can be done, and remember those that have passed away, and also think about death and what could possibly happen afterwards, and maybe not close it off as something that's necessarily so the end.
I think I've said a lot already, but so I'm gonna pretty much repeat, what I just said. I just think that we need to have more communication, better communication about something that's, in the case of Alma, which is it's a tragedy. I'm not saying that, to talk about death is easy in many aspects, but I think it is part of life, and we just need to assume it and make it like that as part of our lives, and talk about how um, our lives shouldn't stop completely either because someone dies, and again, and someone is ready to die. Maybe we should respect that and just be part of the process instead of just you know not being there for the person.
I agree. So thank you both ladies for joining us. Thank you everyone for joining us for this Q&A. Don't forget, you can still catch all of these films and more that are screening today. Just check out ttfilmfestival.com for advice on how to buy tickets and which other films are coming up as well. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. This was an amazing conversation.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.